Hello, dear students. This is your Professor Lázaro Pino, and I'm going to give you some explanation about the chapter 6, chemical reactions. Well, what is a chemical reaction? It's when one or more substances that we call reactants and we represent to the left of the arrow are changed chemically to form new substances that we call products and we represent to the right of the arrow. In order to make new substances, well, the original substances must break into atoms and make new bonds in order to rearrange the atoms and make the new substances. How do you know that we are in presence of a chemical reaction? Well, if there is a change in color, if a solid forms, if bubbles form, if heat, flame, or are produced, or heat is absorbed. All these are evidences that a chemical reaction is taking place. In a chemical reactions, as I told you, we have to the left the reactants. They are separated by a plus sign that is like a comma when we are writing letters. And we have coefficients. The coefficient represents the number of molecules or moles of each substance. And they can be changed while we are balancing the chemical equation. We have subscripts, they cannot be changed because they represent the number of atoms in each molecule. The arrow symbol represents or can be read as yields or produces. Well, this is a chemical reaction, but also we need to put the state of all the substances into parentheses. For example, gas is G, L is liquid, S solid, and AQ represents a solution in water. Also, you can represent if any agent from the environment is taking place into the reaction, like heat, light, or other different elements. The principle that lies at the heart of balancing process is that atoms cannot be changed. They cannot be created, not destroyed. The same number of atoms in the reactants is the same number of atoms in the products. Here we are going to see an example. Aluminum and dioxide yield aluminum oxide. The first step is to count the number of atoms each side. You have one aluminum in the reactant and two oxygen. In the product, you have two aluminum and three oxygen. As you can see, the numbers are not the same. So this reaction is unbalanced. Let's begin by oxygen. You have two oxygen here and three here. In this case, the best that you can do is that multiply by 3 the 2 and by 2 the 3. So you get 6 oxygen and 6 oxygen. Now oxygen is balanced, but you have only one aluminum here and 4 here. Then you have to multiply this side by 4, and then you get 4 and 4 aluminum. So you will have a 4 here in the front. The following step is to see if all the atoms are the same in the reactants and in the products. 4 aluminum equal 6 oxygen, 6 oxygen. Then this equation is balanced. Let's see another case. This is a combustion reaction. Every time you have oxygen combining with a substance, and this substance is an organic one, the products will be water and carbon dioxide. Nowadays, the production of carbon dioxide is very dangerous because it's increasing the the temperature in air on Earth. So it's very important to try to stop this type of reaction in order to avoid that our planet could be destroyed. Well, here you have 4 carbon and only 1 in the products, 10 hydrogen in the reactants, 2 in the products, 2 oxygen in the reactants, and 3 in the products. This equation is not balanced. What we are going to do? Well, we multiply by 4 the carbon, and then you put a 4 in front of carbon dioxide, and now you have 4 carbon, 4 carbon. But this carbon is also affecting the oxygen. Then you will have 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 here is 9. While you have only 2 here in the reactants. What we can do? Well, let's continue balancing hydrogen. Now you have 10 here and you have only 2 here. If you multiply by 5, you will get 10 hydrogen. So we put this 5 in here, and now you will have 10 hydrogen and 10 hydrogen. But this 5 is also affecting the oxygen. Now you have 5 oxygen plus 8. You have 13 oxygen at all. And you have only here a 2. Well, this number is a very difficult one because it cannot be divided by 2. So the best we can do in this case is to use a number like this. So if you multiply 13 seconds by 2, what happened? You cancel the 2 and the 2, and you will have what? 13 oxygen here in the front. Let's see. You multiply by 13 seconds, and now you have 13 oxygen. But what happened? You are not going to leave this number here in this way. In order to avoid that, you multiply everything by 2 so that you can cancel the 2 in this number. Now you will have 2 of this, 13 of this, and 2 times 5 is 10 of water, and 2 times 4 is 8 of carbon dioxide. Then now the equation is balanced. This happens almost always when you are in front of a combustion reaction. Remember that we are in front of a combustion reaction when you combine oxygen with an organic compound producing water and carbon dioxide. Let's continue. Now, what are the different types of chemical reaction? Synthesis. When you have two simple substances that combines into one. The opposite, when you have one and you decompose it into two simple ones, is a decomposition reaction. Then synthesis and decomposition are opposite. Single replacement. Well, in this case, C replaced B, and now B goes along in the products. You make a new substance, and this is what we call single replacement or displacement too. Is you can name in both ways. Double replacement is when C replaces B, but D then combines with A, and then you make two new substances. Well, you can have also precipitation reactions when a solid or a precipitate is formed. Neutralization reaction when an acid combines with a base to make salt and water. Sorry, here was a mistake. And here you have a combustion reaction, as I told you before, producing water and CO2. And the last one, or well, the following one is when you have the precipitate silver nitrate combined with sodium chloride and produces a solid that is silver chloride. This is a precipitation reaction. And here you have a complexation because you combine, for example, the cation copper 2+ with ammonia to make a substance that has a very deep blue color. In this case, this is a complex substance. That is this one that is represented in this case. These are compounds that have a very complex structure. We are not going to study them, but I want you to know the presence of this type of reaction where a complex substance is one of the products or the main product. Also, you have the gas formation. Then you can observe a gas that is released, and it is another type of chemical reaction. Well, here you have the most important parts in this chapter.